Hello everyone, it's Pat at Beads and Plenty More, and today I'm going to show you how to make these earrings that have the chain and they're hooked onto the back of the post with a butterfly backing, and then the chain is hooked into the butterfly so that they are still together when you pull them off, but when you put them on like that they hang with around the bottom of the ear. Very attractive. So I have this pair already made, and I'm going to make this other pair with a different chain and a little bit bigger stone, or it's actually a glass bead, but you could use a stone bead for this too. So what we do here is I've already pre-cut my chain in links, and it's a good idea maybe to count the links when you're making something like this so that you get the same size on both earrings. And so I've got my pieces already cut here, and of course it'll depend a lot on how long you want the earring and whether you want it to what kind of chain you want to use as well. I've used a different chain on this one than the first one. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a wire wrap loop, and that is on the bottom and the top of my bead. So I start with, I've used 24 gauge wire, which is and tinned copper 24 gauge wire. That works quite well for this project. So what we do to make a wire wrap loop is you just fold the wire over the round nose pliers, and I don't want too big a loop, so maybe I'll even make that just a touch smaller. Now right away you have to hook into your chain, because once you close that loop then you can't hook in anymore, so it's a really good idea to do it right here. So I go like that, and then I'm going to use one pair of pliers to hold the circle that I've made, and then another pair of pliers to do the wrapping. So you see this comes over this way, so we will take the other pair of pliers and wrap that direction. And I like to do about 3 wraps, try and get them to sit right side by side so that they look nice and neat. Oh, bring that over there so it's nicely right side by side. So then once we've got the 3 wraps, I'm going to take the cutters and cut away that excess, and then I'll just put this little tip down with the chain nose pliers and just kind of do a little bit of a turn and tap at the same time. So, and then do the finger check. Oop, that's still kind of rough, so we're going to give it another little squeeze. There we are. So now on this wire, I'm going to put a little 3mm metal bead, and the reason for using the 3mm metal bead is because the bead cap I chose has a fairly large hole, so I want to kind of cover up that hole. So see, that works really well like that. Then on goes the bead. It sits into the cap, and the cap the other side, and another one of these little metal beads. These work so well for just covering up that hole that's a bit too big for leaving on its own. Okay, so now we're going to do another wire wrap loop with my round pliers. I'm going to grab just enough space there so that I've got enough room of a neck to make the wrap. Bring that around, and then check my size. I might make it a little bit smaller. There we are. So there's my circle. Again, we want to hook the chain in at this point before we close that loop totally. Just run the chain. Whoop. Those links are quite little. There we are. So get that down and into that circle. There we are. And then we're going to finish the wrap loop. I've got plenty of wire here, so I'm certainly not going to run out. I find it a little bit easier to do these wire wrap loops with extra wire. Okay, so, and when you're making a fairly small loop, it's quite handy to have a smaller chain nose plier too. I've gone too much wire. I'm going to cut it off so that it's a little bit easier. So we'll take the smaller chain nose plier, bring it around, and we'll come back to this side, hold, and we're going to get those 3 wraps in there. There's the 3rd one. So cut off that excess. And again, we need to tuck that raw end. Oh, could cut it a little bit shorter, it'd make it a bit easier. Also with your cutting pliers, if you cut on this side instead of this side, you can get a little bit tighter cut. There we are. Never can get it right cut in, so you always have to do a little tidying up. There we are. So now I've got my setup with my chain that's going to go up to the one side and to the other side. So this side, okay, is going to go to the hook here, and the other side's going to go to my butterfly back. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of these little jump rings to hook on to the earring post and also to the chain. There we go. Again, using these fine pliers is really nice when you've got these tiny jump rings. I don't use 4mm jump rings very often, but once in a while they just work. And this is one of them with the fine chain. I don't want the jump ring to be too big for the size of the chain, so that works much better. So that's that one there. And then we'll bring this one up and hooks onto the back of the butterfly backing. So that one goes up there, and my butterfly backing. I'm going to have to come back to you with my butterfly. I seem to have lost them. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back with the butterfly backing, and we're going to do the tiny little 4mm jump ring onto the, it'll go onto the butterfly backing into the loop of one side of it, just like that. And then we hook into the chain on the other side. Again, using these 4mm jump rings, I can't emphasize enough how good it is to have the smaller size chain nose to do the final turn in. One side I can use a bigger one, but it is much easier to hold. And there we are. A nice simple little chain and bead earring with a butterfly backing. Post sits on the ear, and the chain goes down around the ear. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.